Each year, the Vimy Foundation brings together youth from Canada, the United Kingdom, and France for a unique scholarship experience that brings our intertwined history to life. Students revisit the bravery of fallen heroes, the battles they waged, and the sacrifices they made so that today's generation, amongst others, could live in freedom and peace. It is a positive learning experience that challenges one to think critically, acquire a broader perspective on the world, while also encouraging personal growth and character development in profound, meaningful ways.
Even just compared to the entire spectrum of the war, with so many hundreds of thousands of men that died, that I actually have felt very small and insignificant in life. And what I've learned and sort of decided to do from now on is live big and try and live every moment, because for these soldiers, they had no idea if the next minute or the next day they were going to be blown into the air and never to be found again. So I feel like that I'm feeling like life is a gift and that I really need to take advantage of it and live life to the fullest. I think I've already grown a lot on this trip, and I would recommend it to anybody.
C'est pas un voyage du tout scolaire, on apprend beaucoup sans pour autant que ce soit qu'on soit à l'école. Ça parle tellement plus quand on va sur les lieux, sur les champs de bataille par exemple, que lorsqu'on ouvre un livre d'histoire. C'est totalement différent. Nous sommes des générations qui ne connaissons pas la guerre chez nous. C'est plutôt éloigné géographiquement, on va dire. Et il faut qu'on se rende compte quand même que des réalités, de ce qui s'est passé, c'est pour qu'on se souvienne tout simplement, qu'on ait un certain respect, une conscience de l'histoire, de notre histoire.
Since 2006, recipients of the annual Beaverbrook Vimy Prize participate in educational seminars and museum events, visit historic battlefields and grave sites in England, Belgium, and France. Such visits include Passchendaele, Ypres, Dieppe, as well as the iconic Vimy War Memorial. The program is fast-paced, and there's much to learn about the experience of war and how the legacy of these battles contributed to Canada's evolution as a nation, and how Britain and France's sacrifices profoundly changed Europe.
October 9th, the Canadians had advanced 37 kilometers against hard resistance. They had taken 18,585 German prisoners, 371 pieces of artillery, over 2,000 machine guns, and had liberated over 54 towns and villages. So these are massive gains after a 4-year stalemate. But the costs had been quite heavy at 30,806 casualties. And by this point, the war was essentially over. The Central Powers were crumbling, as were their front lines. They were excellent soldiers, the Canadian Corps. In the last 100 days, 25 Victoria Crosses were awarded to Canadians and Newfoundlanders, which is about an average of 1 every 4 days, which shows the tremendous courage and valor of the Canadian troops during the last 100 days.
For most students, the best memories are those of meeting veterans, historians, scholars, and specialists on the ground who bring history to life through anecdotes and interesting facts that help individuals connect with the past on a more intimate level.
Professor at McGill University in Montreal, the military. He loved the military life and being a soldier. That's what he wanted to do. While he was here, one of the young men attached to his brigade, his artillery brigade, was a fellow by the name of Alexis Helmer. I was in one of these trenches, briefly, and while he was there, he was on the receiving end of an artillery shell. They found enough of him to fill a sandbag, that's all. And McCrae was moved by the death of this young man to write this poem. And he sat here on the back of an ambulance wagon and wrote the poem. But finally, in December of 1915, Month's Magazine had 2 pages of text, left-hand page, bottom right-hand column, this little poem, about this big, no big deal. It didn't even have McCrae's name on it, but it took off. It became wildly popular around the world.
Throughout the course of the program, students are also exposed to a variety of cultures as they visit many towns throughout Europe, immersing themselves in other languages as they meet locals, try new foods, and visit interesting sites.
No, this trip, it isn't just visiting the sites. It's the whole European experience. We've experienced all sorts of authentic foods we wouldn't have normally. Just mingling with people, even after we're done our tours of the day, just hang out, listening to music, talking, etc. It's a good experience for meeting people.
Quand on est allé sur le voyage, il n'y avait pas seulement des Canadiens qu'on a pu rencontrer, mais il y avait aussi des Français et des Britanniques qu'on a pu rencontrer et voir vraiment leur culture et voir les vieilles villes et rencontrer les personnes. C'était vraiment bien pour pouvoir avoir l'expérience d'une autre culture.
Beaverbrook Vimy Prize winners will also form lifelong friendships with individuals from Canada, France, and the United Kingdom as they share an enriched educational experience that is profoundly moving and life-changing in so many positive ways.
I've made some really good friends that friendships I'm going to keep the rest of my life, and I think that's important to have ties all across Canada and France and England.
Everyone's really, really friendly. It's really not that difficult to make friends. Everyone's in the same situation. No one really knows each other. So basically you're coming at this and everyone's going to make friends, and we're all getting really, really along.
Becoming a Vimy Scholar is a simple process that includes the submission of a short essay, an interview, and a passion for learning. It is the gateway to an unparalleled historical journey, filled with a rich itinerary of learning, culture, and friendships, supported by a highly experienced, competent faculty from Canada, Britain, and France.
I had to write an essay of approximately 1,000 words. I then had an interview with one of the colleagues of the Vimy Foundation, which was in both French and English.
For me, this trip is about young people coming together from 3 different countries, so from Britain, France and Canada, to share their perspectives about the First World War, to share their common history, to learn more about their own particular history, and to become better citizens, really.
Remembrance is one of the key components of the Vimy Foundation mission. By learning about the stories and legacies of the First and Second World Wars, we keep the memories of these events alive and carry with us lessons that lead to a brighter future.
C'est vraiment différent de voir vraiment les expériences des gens qui ont fait partie de la guerre et voir vraiment le taux que ça a pris sur les villes en France et en Belgique et voir le coût en termes de vie que ça a pris aussi.
Last August, I attended a quiet, solemn ceremony in a small cemetery outside Dieppe. About 100 Canadian veterans were in attendance. Afterwards, we participated in a wreath-laying ceremony near the beach that frames Dieppe. This time, only a few of the veterans were present, but in their place were thousands of people, citizens of the town. The impact of so many people silently honoring the sacrifices of others was astonishing. I cannot possibly express how humbling it is to see every person in every direction holding a Canadian flag. After the ceremony, I went to take a picture of the monument, surrounded by the many wreaths. After I took the picture, a man came up to me and very timidly asked me if I was Canadian. With a newfound pride, I confirmed his suspicion. And in response, he asked if he could take a picture of me with his son. He thanked me, gave me his card, and invited me to his bar, as if we were old friends, meeting again after a long time apart.
My grandmother was in the Second World War. We asked her once why she never went to Remembrance Day ceremony. And she said, it's because I don't need a day to remember, I never forgot. And if my grandmother never forgot, then we can't forget either.
Anybody that said that he wasn't scared stiff or seasick, I want to tell you that when we landed on the beaches of Normandy, I had the best case of both seasickness and afraid. We destroyed the ability for the Germans to make war. This cost us no end of casualties, and to feel that we had made the world a safer place in which to live was the biggest achievement I think that I ever made in my life.
War is not a game. It's very serious and very far-reaching. We did our part as well as we could. Sometimes we paid for it very dearly, and other times it went through very well.